Namaste. In today's video, I'll be talking about the mystical symbol, the flower of life, and what it means in the Kundalini awakening process. I'll be talking about the electromagnetic field of a human being and what a scalar field means and how it affects our DNA. When I was thinking about what to talk in this video, I was constantly getting the image of the flower of life flashed in my mind. It was like the universe telling me to talk about this particular mystical symbol. I saw this symbol 4 years ago in my Kundalini awakening process. I saw it in my third eye in a vision, but then I could not understand its significance or meaning. It took me some time to understand it. I was somehow postponing the idea of speaking on this topic. Few days ago, when I was clearing the attic in my house, this image again popped in my mind, and I again negated the idea of speaking on this particular topic. When this was happening, I was holding this plastic basket in my hand, which I've not seen in the last 20 years. And when I looked into it, I was surprised to see the flower of life ingrained into it. This is a synchronicity, a very strong synchronicity that I have to speak about this topic today. This basket was lying in my house for many years, but I never bothered to give it a second look. And it is amazing that this basket is carrying a message for me from the universe. The general ideas regarding the flower of life are that it signifies the energetic fields that operate behind the physical reality. It consists of 19 circles that are overlapped that form this particular figure. The points in this figure represent the masculine energy, and the petal forms, they represent the feminine energy. It has a balance of masculine and feminine energy. This image is related to healing in the Kundalini process. All the geometry that you see, sacred geometry, it finds its source in this particular flower of life. And this flower of life even tells us that we are connected with everything in this world. Everything at every level, every dimension is connected with each other. This image can be seen across many cultures, many traditions, many civilizations. The first picture is that of the flower of life in the Middle Eastern older architecture temples. It is a part of the European art and culture. It is a part of Indian temples too. And the last image you see here is of the Chinese dragon holding the flower of life. The Chinese dragon, it represents the Kundalini energy, and the flower of life, it represents the healing of this body and mind that happens in the Kundalini awakening process. Leonardo da Vinci too captured the essence of the flower of life. He explained that all Platonic solids like the tetrahedron, the hexahedron, they all find their origin in the flower of life. Or the flower of life contains these various structures which are part of the sacred geometry. Apart from that, he even derived the seed of life, the fruit of life, and the egg of life from the flower of life. These Platonic solids, they have the ability to store certain frequency of energy. When you look at nature, especially crystal formations, you will see various kinds of Platonic solid structures in naturally forming crystal formations. I have posted the images of 3 crystals here which are naturally formed. If you watch closely, you will see the shapes of Platonic solids in each of these crystal formations. These Platonic solids, they are capable of holding energy or frequency of vibration. If you're into spiritual practices like prayer, mantra chanting, meditation, and any other kind or form of spiritual practice, it is always advisable to keep a crystal around you or wear a crystal necklace. This crystal will harness your spiritual energy. And later on, when you go about your day, this crystal will release that energy for you again. It will keep you in a very good state of mind. But please only use crystals if you have a peaceful environment in your working place or at home. Leonardo da Vinci, he used these geometrical patterns as part of his arts, and that is why his paintings look so out of the world. They look divine. Apart from that, he derived many mathematical and geometrical calculations, which are used to this day. This is the image I saw in my third eye when I saw the flower of life for the first time. I saw it rolling down a slope. It made no sense to me. Looking back, I realized that the reason why I saw this rolling down a slope was it was conveying to me that it is timeless and it contains all the energetic fields of the universe within it. We all know that the creation started from a sound. Sound is a form of wave. When many such waves are superimposed, you can look at the second picture here. A lot of waves are superimposed. And that is how it looks once you start superimposing one wave over the other. And many of these superimposed waves start creating different structures. If you look at the second picture here, these are many different subtle structures that have come out of these superimposed energetic fields of frequency. And the first image here is when you put a lot of fine sand over a vibrating plate. The sand, it starts creating structures. Where the energy is less, you will see the sand becoming a part of that area. And where the vibration is high, you will see the force fields or the lines being formed. This proves to us that sound has the ability to create structures or forms. When the frequency or the vibration level is high, these structures are subtle in nature. When the frequency starts getting low or when the structures start getting gross, they become physical in nature. So whatever we see in the external world, our body, the trees that you see, the people that you see around you, the many different planets you see, the many different stars you see, many different dimensions that exist, they are all there because of the movements of Shakti or these energy fields in the background. If these energy fields cease to operate, then the entire creation will vanish immediately. Nothing will be left. So all this drama which we see in the physical world, it has inherently in the backdrop or in the background these various fields of energies moving. And this movement of these energies is what supports the life on earth or any other dimension. In the Kundalini awakening process, initially what happens is the person develops a lot of heat in the body. This heat can be because of various spiritual or ascetic practices the person is adopting in his daily life. It can be yoga. Many are into Kundalini yoga these days. It can be mantra chanting, meditation. It can be selfless service. It can be fasting and many other austerities, even celibacy. All these methods and practices, they help to generate a lot of inner heat. Inner heat is important aspect which happens at the first part of the Kundalini awakening process. The body experiences a lot of inner heat. I myself experienced about 4 to 5 years of severe inner heat. It feels like your body is burning inside, various parts of your body are burning. And when this reaches the head, it is very painful too. A lot of headaches come because of this inner heat. This inner heat has a reason. And the reason is, if you look at this example, you can see that the water is being boiled over the stove. The stove is hot, and because this heat is transferred to the water, the atoms and the molecules in the water are now vibrating. So what is happening here is heat is getting converted into vibration. That is exactly what is happening in your body at this phase. So all that heat which has got accumulated in your body now gets converted into vibration. As we start experiencing vibration, the heat in the body starts coming down because it is getting converted to vibration. This vibration can be initially felt in various areas of the body, and later on you can feel it more often and then continuously throughout the day. During this stage where the body is vibrating, the person is generally in the phase of or coming close to the phase of Pranithan in the Kundalini awakening process. That is the first release of prana in the Pranamaya Kosha. If you do not know what Pranithan is, I'll post a link to my earlier video where I've discussed about this. This vibration, when it starts getting higher, the person's frequency of the body or the level of which his consciousness is operating, that too starts getting elevated with the elevation of the vibration level of the body. During this phase, a lot of purging is happening. A lot of inner issues are coming to the surface to be cleared. Mental, emotional, and physical issues are manifesting in your life. This can be a very tough phase, but this is a necessary phase in the Kundalini awakening process. When this vibration, it starts reaching critical level, it gets converted into electrical energy. We all are aware that we can harness electricity from vibrational energy. Electricity is nothing but the movement of electrons in one particular direction or a flow of current in one particular direction. Kundalini energy is electrical energy. So when Kundalini is moving up the spine, it feels like electricity. So the vibrations become electrical sensations or electrical energy. Kundalini Shakti is so subtle that when it moves up the Sushumna, we can hardly feel its movements. It is very subtle in nature. If Kundalini Shakti is so subtle, then how do we know if she is rising up our spine? As I've said earlier, Kundalini energy is electrical energy. So to the level to which she is rising up in your spine, the spine will feel electric in nature. For example, if she has reached your Manipura chakra, then the spine right from the Muladhara till the domain of the Manipura chakra, it will feel electrical in nature. And even the surrounding body parts and even the front, the lateral and the back side, they all feel electric in nature. So this is how you know how much Kundalini Shakti has risen in your spine. We all are aware that the electrical field has a perpendicular magnetic field. Every atom you see, every material you see, every person, thing that you see, even planets, they all have an electromagnetic field. So where there is a charged particle, the charged particle has an electrical field, and perpendicular to the electrical field, you have a magnetic field. So when the energy is electrical in nature, that is the Kundalini energy, it will automatically have a magnetic field. So this electrical energy later on converts into an electromagnetic field. A normal person has an electromagnetic field which is up to which can be measured from even 1 meter distance from the body or 3 feet away from the body. But when somebody has a Kundalini awakening, this electromagnetic field becomes much wider, much stronger because of this risen Kundalini electrical energy. The magnetic field also becomes very strong. So now this person has a very strong electromagnetic field. This can be measured to even 15 feet away from that person. And a stronger electromagnetic field means the system is very strong, or that person is holding a lot of frequency, a lot of higher energy. And once this electromagnetic field has expanded and the person is operating from that level of the field, he can retain higher states of spiritual development. He will not fall down back to older habits or older behaviors. Every particle, every atom, everything that is charged has an electromagnetic field. The charged electromagnetic field can be weak or can be very strong depending upon the source from which it is emanating. When the electromagnetic field, it widens, it gets stronger in a Kundalini awakening process, because the chakras that align during this process, they carry more charge, and hence the magnetic field is also higher. So the combined electromagnetic field is much, much higher than in a normal person. And this has an effect on the body and mind of the person. This increased energy, it brings about increased metabolism, increased information communication between the various cellular structures in the body, increased communication between the brain and heart. The consciousness now starts moving up the spine. First, it comes to the Vishuddhi. Later on, it moves up to the higher chakras, and then it comes down to ground itself in the heart center. When this happens, the brain and the heart start oscillating together. Earlier to this, what was happening is that every cell, every atom in our body, the brain, various organs, the nervous system, the heart, they all have separate electromagnetic fields. And these separate electromagnetic fields were not working together, or they're not working as a unified field earlier. Now, once Kundalini Shakti starts moving up the spine, she starts unifying all these various electromagnetic fields that were operating separately in the body. And she creates a unified common electromagnetic field for the body, which is very strong. And this has an effect on our body, and it elevates our consciousness. When this electromagnetic field of the body is expanding and Kundalini Shakti is rising up the central spine, she is aligning the chakras that are in the spine. And once the chakras are aligned, the system is working in a unified field of frequency, or it is working in synchronization, perfect synchronization. What happens is this electromagnetic field, it has an effect that it changes our body structures, it changes our cell structure, it regulates our DNA and RNA, protein synthesis, it alters the protein structure and function, it controls the gene regulation, cell division, cell differentiation, nerve growth, hormone secretion. All these things are different now from that of a normal person. They're much better and much healthier than that what happens in a normal person. And this electromagnetic field has the kind of effect on the person that it allows that person to grow further spiritually and to retain those higher spiritual states in the body, so that this does not become just a glimpse of spiritual evolution and the person is back down to the lower level of consciousness. That does not happen here because the electromagnetic field is much, much vibrant than earlier. To explain the electromagnetic field better, I'm giving a small example here. Say a light bulb is connected to an electric socket or to a battery. What generally people think is that the electricity flows through the wire and it reaches the bulb, and hence the bulb is glowing. But it does not happen that way. The flowing current or the flowing electrons in a circuit, they create an electromagnetic field around the area there. If you look at the picture here, this electromagnetic field is depicted in the form of the green circles and pink arrows, which shows the direction in which the energy is flowing. So when the electrons are moving within the circuit, they are creating this electromagnetic field externally. And the power or the energy is getting transferred through this electromagnetic field and it is reaching the bulb, and hence the bulb is glowing. And it is not because the electricity is passing through the wires. If you have to give you another example, when we switch on the TV, we get connected to the television tower or the satellite, or even when we use our phones, we get connected to the mobile tower. But there are no wires that are connecting us to the mobile tower. It is all wireless. We're using the electromagnetic field that is created, which is there naturally. And we are receiving the communication through that electromagnetic field. The various examples for electromagnetic fields or rays are the infrared rays, the ultraviolet rays, the X-rays, gravity, the visible light. So there are many different types of electromagnetic waves, and these waves affect us on a daily basis, and they even affect us at a subtle level. For example, the electromagnetic field which surrounds our body, it holds information about our emotions and thoughts, because emotions and thoughts are also a form of energy. A lot of information about us is held within our own electromagnetic field. Even our planets have an electromagnetic field. When a person is spiritually evolved, his electromagnetic field gets connected with the planetary electromagnetic field and the electromagnetic field of the nature. Our sun too has electromagnetic field. So every object which has charge in it has an electromagnetic field. This is a 3D model of an electromagnetic field, which is working around any charged particle or around human body too. The electromagnetic field, it envelops the human body. In an unawakened person, enough prana flows through the nadis and through the chakra points so that it can sustain the life of a person in the physical body. Such a person lives in his lower three chakras thinking that his body is the only reality and the external world is the only reality. He is caught up in his belief systems and lower egoic behaviors. And he finds it difficult to break through those loops and rise above to the higher level of thinking. Once Kundalini Prana starts rising up the spine, while she is moving up the spine, she starts synchronizing the various fields of electromagnetism that are operating separately of each other. That is, these cells are operating at one level of uh, electromagnetism. The organs are having their own electromagnetic frequencies. So all these frequencies are operating independent of each other. Once this rising prana starts synchronizing these frequencies, the person will start experiencing a lot of dream activity. He will start seeing a lot of light language. He will even experience synchronicities. Once this energy moves up the spine and it moves to the Agya Chakra level, the electromagnetic field is now more unified and it is much stronger. Once this happens, the person will have out of body experiences, he will have extrasensory perception, he will start developing various abilities or siddhis. When this is happening, his electromagnetic field is flowing stronger and it is more powerful than in an unawakened person. The amplified field, it starts opening up new centers in the brain. And this, with this opening of the new centers comes new knowledge. new insights, new intuition, new abilities. And this allows the former being to surrender, to melt, to give way to the newer, higher aspect of you. When the electrons are flowing through the protein structures in a human body during this phase, the person starts glowing. The eyes start glowing, the skin starts glowing, the hair starts glowing. It's because of the movement of electrons to the protein structures. Now, the protein structures are also strengthened so that they can hold higher frequency. Even our DNA is made up of protein structures. Here in the picture, you can see the Ida and Pingala Nadi. They are crisscrossing over the Sushumna, central Sushumna Nadi, and then meeting up here in the Agya Chakra. The Ida Nadi is white in color and the Pingala Nadi is red in color. Here the picture is black and white, so you can see the Pingala Nadi in the black color. The Ida Nadi represents your inner feminine energy and your Pingala Nadi represents the inner masculine energy. There should be a balance between your inner masculine and feminine energies so that they meet properly at the chakra points to allow the chakra to blossom into an energy center. This Ida and Pingala Nadi, they meet at 6 points over the Sushumna channel. And once the energy moves properly through these channels and meets the Agya Chakra, it opens the central Sushumna Nadi through which Kundalini Shakti rises. So for Kundalini Shakti to rise through the central channel, first the flow in the Ida and Pingala Nadi should be balanced. That is, your inner feminine and masculine energies should work together. It is only when they come together and work together that the central Sushumna channel opens. Think of this as the Ida and Pingala Nadi. Ideally, the Ida and Pingala Nadi should meet like this. And wherever they meet, the chakra is formed, or the chakra point or the energy flow meets from either side in that area. If we are using more of the right side, which nowadays mostly everybody is living from their masculine energy, even women are living from their masculine side, or they're using more of their left brain and not the right brain or the left body. When this is happening, you're using more of your right side and you are neglecting the left side of your body. The left side, the energy in the left side shrinks and the energy in the right side is flowing very strong. For that reason, the flow on the left and right side is not happening properly. Right? So for this to flow properly, you should use both your left side and your right side. That is, you should use both your left and right brains together. So when you start using both of them together, you're creating an ideal situation where the Ida and Pingala Nadi can come and combine properly at various areas to form those nodes or those chakra points through which the energy crisscrosses over the Sushumna Nadi, and once it crisscrosses over the 6 points, the central Sushumna channel opens. The left side or the Ida Nadi, it is connected to your parasympathetic nervous system. And the right side or the Pingala Nadi is connected to your sympathetic nervous system. Parasympathetic nervous system is all about rest. It is about peace. It is about contentment. All your various spiritual practices, that is doing meditation or mantra chanting, being happy, learning arts, dancing, singing, they all come onto your left side. And the energy to do the external work, the energy to face the external reality, to get things done externally, you need the energy of your Pingala Nadi or the right side. A balance between both these nervous systems is required for a proper health. So somebody is in the spiritual awakening, they have to take care that they take enough rest and not work themselves out or stress themselves out too much or burn out. For example, if somebody is working in a very competitive business environment, they're using their right side more than the left because of the stress that is there in the external world, the need to compete and win. They're using more of the right side of the body, but they can still use the left side. They do this when they are good at communicating with their team. They're building a great team. They are having a good relationship with the people that are there in their life. They are kinder to people. They are not greedy at work. They live by values and they have some sort of a spiritual routine. When they're doing this, they're even using the left side of their body and the right brain, because of which this person is not only competing with the external environment, but he is living his life from inner wisdom and inner guidance. So this is how you use both your left and right together. And when you start living like this, there is a sync between the left and the right side of your body. They come into sync, and the energy channels, when they open up, they flow properly through the Ida and Pingala Nadi, and this leads to the Kundalini awakening through the Sushumna channel. If the Ida and Pingala Nadi are not in sync, say they are not like this, but rather little out of sync, it can lead to a lot of psychosomatic disorders. Psychosomatic disorders are disorders that affect a person at the mental and physical level. Psycho is mind and somatic is body. So they affect us at the mental and physical level. To this day, the medical community does not understand the reasons behind many of these diseases. But the improper flow of energy in Ida and Pingala Nadi affects the person at the mental level and at the physical level. And this results in a lot of uh, types of disorders. Even during a Kundalini awakening, when Kundalini Shakti is rising up the central Sushumna channel and she's trying to clear away all that ignorance, all that toxins that are there in every chakra, we will experience many of these disorders because we're releasing away all that toxicity, all that mental baggage, all that emotional baggage which we held for many lifetimes. When we're releasing away all those toxins from our body, we experience them as various types of diseases. We experience them as headaches, as body pains, as fever, as cold, or flu. We experience heart palpitations. We experience skin problems. We experience mood swings, depression. Many types of these psychosomatic disorders are experienced by people who are undergoing a spiritual awakening, and even otherwise too. When there is an imbalance between the left and right side of the body, these kind of disorders manifest in our life. The roots for these disorders is very deep inside, and living a life, a spiritual life, can help us to resolve these issues. Meditation or mantra chanting or yoga, when a person does this over many years, he is allowing the proper flow of energy in the channels. And once the energy starts flowing properly in the channels, many of these issues, they start going out of your system. Our energy fields, it contains a lot of energy and information about us. Various parts of our body, they communicate using this uh, electromagnetic field. I'll go back to my earlier example where I spoke about how the uh, circuit from the battery to the light is transferring the electricity. The movement happens within the wires, but the external electromagnetic field is what allows the energy to flow from the battery to the light, and hence the light glows. In the same way, if we experience a cut on our hand, then what generally people think is that this event, the impulse, nerve impulse, it moves through the hand into the head to the brain. It communicates to the brain that there's a cut on the hand, and then the brain does it takes a necessary action, and it communicates that action through the nerves to the area which is cut. But in reality, most of this communication between the hand and your brain happens to the electromagnetic field. So the more developed the individual, the more wider and the more stronger the electromagnetic field is. When the electromagnetic field is higher, the energy generation in the body is much higher. It is the cellular energy generation is much higher. The energy in the nerves is much higher, which is very much necessary for in a spiritual awakening process. The heart and the brain, they start reorganizing their individual electromagnetic fields and they start working together. Now, DNA, RNA, protein synthesis, they all are uh, electromagnetic field sensitive. So all these changes affect your DNA. The meaning of Kundalini is the coiled one. The entire creation has emanated from Kundalini. That is why you'll see a lot of round or coiled forms in the universe, right from the planets to the stars to our sun, the orbits that are uh, nearly round. You will see the coiled form in nature in the form of tornadoes, whirlpools, atoms, molecules. They all are round. Our body has many structures which are round, cellular structures at a very microscopic level are round. You will see this replicated at every level in the creation. The blood in our arteries, it gushes forward in a vortex manner. Imagine if we add ions to this gushing blood flow. Ions are charged atoms. They can be positively charged or they can be negatively charged. If we add a negatively charged ion to our gushing blood, this increases the flow of blood in our capillaries, and this adds to the already widening electromagnetic field of our body. So the electromagnetic field becomes even more energetic and even more vibrant. That is why in earlier days, many yogis preferred to live in forests because naturally negative ions are present in sunlight, under huge trees, in the forests, or at the water sources. You will have a lot of negatively charged ions in the atmosphere. They all come from nature. And that is why when somebody is undergoing the Kundalini awakening process, it is always advisable for them to spend a lot of time in nature. This will enhance their electromagnetic field. The excessive negative ions in the atmosphere, they allow the electromagnetic field to flow even more effectively. Contrary to that, positive ions, they weaken the electromagnetic field. And these are present in man-made appliances, the concrete structures which we live in, cities, the pollution, the unnecessary lights at night, they all generate positive ions. And positive ions cause diseases. Many kinds of psychosomatic disorders also can be caused by these positive ions. They affect our body and mind. When a person is coming into contact with another person, their electromagnetic fields are coming together and they're intermingling. And that is why when you sit in a room with few other, you can gauge the emotion, the dominant emotion in the room. You will know whether people are in general happy or unhappy. Apart from looking at their body language, you can understand the general mood in that room, the general emotion or tone in that room. That is because your electromagnetic fields are mingling with the other electromagnetic fields, and information is unconsciously getting exchanged at that level. And that is why when somebody is visiting an enlightened being like a yogi or a saint, the moment the person sits in front of this person, the yogi understands everything about this person. He can tell that person why he has come there, what is happening in his life. He can read that person. He can read his thoughts. He can read his emotions. He can do that because this person's electromagnetic field is now mingling with the yogi's electromagnetic field. And the yogi has the ability to read the electromagnetic field. Hence, when somebody has developed the extrasensory powers in a Kundalini awakening process, they are able to read thoughts of other person. They can even, because their electromagnetic field has now expanded a lot, and if they're living in flats or they're living in smaller homes with closer neighbors, they can even listen to their neighbors' thoughts. They can pick up on the emotions of their neighbors. This is happening because now more energy is flowing through your electromagnetic field, and your system is more open to others' electromagnetic field, and you're able to read others' electromagnetic fields. I was earlier mentioning that the flower of life, it has the message that we can heal ourselves. Flowers have the ability, the medicinal ability to heal a person. The oils that various flowers generate, they can heal a person mentally and physically. Our chakras too, they look like the lotus petals when the energy is flowing through it. Once we have healed ourselves, our inner chakras itself look like flowers. That is, it signifies that we have healed ourselves, and that is how the energy moves once we heal ourselves. So, somebody in the spiritual awakening process, when they have any kind of ailments during the process, it is good to use essential oils. For example, if somebody is having regular headaches or body pains or high temperatures, then they can use a mix of lavender and rosemary oil mixed with jojoba oil, and use that oil on their head, apply to the scalp or the body part which is in stress. And this relieves that person because the flower is natural, and the essence of the flower is natural, and it matches with our inner vibration. For that reason, using essential oils is very helpful on the spiritual awakening process. But please consult a physician also to rule out any other kind of uh, health issues. When somebody is undergoing the Kundalini awakening process and the Kundalini Shakti is working in the lower chakras, a lot of mental and physical symptoms are experienced by this person. If somebody wants to speeden up this purging phase, they can use the color red, which is the red coral that you're seeing here is the Indian red coral. This has the exact color, the vibrant red color. If in your horoscope the Mars planet is weaker, then the purging can take a lot of time. To give strength to the Mars planet, you can wear Indian red coral, or you can wear clothes of this color regularly. What happens when you do that is you are increasing the strength of the planet Mars in your horoscope, and that will increase the rate of purging in your body. Before you use the Indian coral as a bracelet or as a ring or as a locket in your necklace, please consult your astrologer and see whether you can wear it or not, because not everybody can wear this. There's certain do's and don'ts about wearing this Indian red coral. But if you're experiencing a lot of purging and the symptoms are already too much to handle for you, then it is better to stay away from this. That simply means that the Mars planet in your horoscope is very strong. Please consult your astrologer to see whether you can wear this or not. The DNA in our body, it is made up of protein structures. Not only electromagnetic field, even scalar waves can affect our DNA. Scalar waves are not present on Earth. These are very subtle in nature, the scalar waves. The various light language codes or the light language symbols that we see are scalar in nature. These waves travel through the universe, and no matter how much they travel, they do not lose their integrity or they do not lose their intensity. For example, if you're walking on the road and a bike is going past you, when the bike is next to you, you can hear it very loud and clear. But further away the bike moves from you, the noise gets less. And after a certain distance, you cannot hear the bike anymore. That is because the sound waves that are traveling from the bike to your ear, they are diminishing as the distance between you and the bike is increasing. That is, the sound wave is losing its intensity as it's traveling further away from the source. But scalar waves are not like that. No matter how much they travel, they will not lose their intensity. Even if it goes around the universe many number of times, it is still the same. Integrity of the scalar waves is very high. And generally, the scalar waves are some kind of geometrical patterns, many different images which we see when you're on the spiritual path. They all are a type of scalar waves. And these scalar waves, they carry information too. For example, I was speaking about the flower of life. I saw it in my vision. It is a type of scalar wave. And this is only accessible to a person when they're on the spiritual path and Kundalini is moving up their spine. Or especially when the prana shakti goes beyond the Agya chakra, that is when you can start having visions of these various scalar uh, waves. Our DNA is not just a data storage unit. It is more like an antenna. It is when Kundalini Shakti has risen through all the chakras, she has formed newer connections, nervous connections. The electromagnetic field of the person is very strong and flowing very strongly. That is when the DNA start working as a quantum antenna. This quantum antenna can receive and send information to the universe. It receives information in the form of scalar waves. These scalar waves affect our DNA. There is a link between our DNA healing and the flower of life. The flower petals here, they represent the chromosomes of a DNA. It represents that we can move our energy from a lower dimension to a higher dimension. And when we move our energy from a lower dimension to a higher dimension, we are healing ourselves. So the ability to transmute our lower emotions, lower thoughts to a higher emotion or higher thought, it lies inherently within each one of us. Just the will to do it is required by the person. When the DNA starts interacting with the scalar waves, and this person already has a strong electromagnetic field, this interaction with the scalar waves, it produces another field, which is a scalar field around that person. This scalar field represents the fact that this person has healed himself mentally, emotionally, physically. He has risen from his lower conscious centers to higher conscious centers, and his entire body is working as a unified field of energy. Over this electromagnetic field, another field of scalar field is formed. Now this person is able to bring down that scalar energy onto earth, because the scalar energy is not there on earth. That is why in earlier days in India, when there were no antibiotics and there were any viral fevers or viral infections, people would carry their children or they would go to these yogis. These scalar waves can kill bacteria and viruses in the atmosphere around or in people's body. They can even clear away a lot of psychological problem from a person's mind. So the moment a yogi came, people would go and sit in the presence of that yogi. They understood that this yogi had the power to heal them. He had the power to kill the bacteria and viruses and clear away a lot of mental problems, a lot of mental suffering which the person was undergoing. And this is happening because this person has an extra field of energy, which is the scalar field. And the flower of life represents this scalar field, which a person will develop once his Kundalini has risen and the process has completed. That is why when we sit in the company of an enlightened being or a saint or a yogi, we feel a lot of peace, we feel a lot of happiness, we feel bliss. That is because their scalar field is affecting our electromagnetic field. We are getting bombarded with these scalar waves, which are otherwise not available to us. So these yogis or saints typically bring down this unavailable source of energy and they use this energy for the betterment of the people or the consciousness in general. So these saints or yogis are able to harness this scalar energy and help others through healing them by using their scalar field. The flower of life for me represents the ability we hold within us to heal ourselves. And not just us, but when we harness this energy and when we can bring it down into our system as a scalar field, we even help others, we heal others also through this field. In Kundalini awakening or spiritual awakening, we are simply transmuting the lower level thoughts and emotions to a higher state. We all studied in school that energy cannot be created or it cannot be destroyed. In the same way, negative emotions or negative thoughts cannot be destroyed. They can only be transmitted to the next level. For example, if you experience anger because somebody has not behaved the way they should behave with you, when you understand that person better, when you can empathize with that person, that anger is gone. You have transmuted your anger to empathy. Pain teaches us lessons. When we learn those lessons, the pain is gone because we have transmitted pain into a lesson. People want to live their life controlling the external world, controlling themselves, controlling their thoughts, their emotions, their mind. They want to control everything. And if something is not within their control, it angers them. If something does not match their expectations, it angers them. So people live from this mode where they want to control everything around them. But when we transmute this control to surrender, surrender to a higher God or to a higher spirit or to the goddess, when we are doing this, we are transmuting our control issues to surrender. Everything within us that is causing us pain or which is causing us uh, to live in negative emotions or live in negative behaviors, it all emerges from ignorance. And when we can understand this, we are taking the first step towards transmuting our emotions. The emotions, negative or positive, are like two sides of the same coin. It depends on which side you are flipping the coin. Kundalini energy is all about transmuting the pain, the trauma, the anger, everything gets transmuted into love, devotion, surrender, trust. In this beautiful process, we transmute ourselves from a lower egoic state to a higher level of consciousness. And the flower of life represents this process that happens within us. Thank you.